it's Janine here, and today I actually have my husband Andrew with me here, and we're going to be talking about the top 5 questions around couples finance. So the first question we have is, when did we first start talking about money? I'll let you maybe take that one.
Yeah, we probably started before we even moved in with each other. So probably would have been...
I would hope before that.
Yeah, before we moved in with each other. I mean, that was 2 years into our relationship is when we moved in together. So before that, sometime, not too far before that, but before that.
But I think like when it came to dating and saving for vacations or things we wanted to do together, we saved up for a KitchenAid mixer together. So I think we were talking about money, like maybe not big budget picture, but kind of smaller things. 6 months.
Yeah, sure.
To
of course,
there's
our trip to New York. That was
definitely.
That was before as well. Yeah. Okay. So probably like a year in, I would say, probably is when it started to happen. Yeah.
So the second question we have is, what are our shared money values?
Well, I think that when it comes right down to it, we want to. I mean, we're boring adults, and we're starting to think about retirement always, and making sure that we'll be comfortable there. But I think probably more on the short term, we have goals for traveling, and I mean, a lot of travel. We really like to do that. And sometimes the traveling also blends in with our other interest of wine. So there's
and
those
nice dinners out.
And definitely. Nice dinners. We do enjoy going out for nice dinners like once a month and just spending that time together. So we do that quite a bit. But I also think that, when we're even thinking in terms of, investing, not just for retirement, but being able to have savings such as an emergency fund, saving for other big purchase items.
Yeah, it's that security and not
the security. Yeah, that's a better way to put it. Yeah.
It to really, I guess, take over all of our monthly spending. So really, saving up and prioritizing for the big things in our life.
Yeah, and trying to foresee. I mean, of course, I mentioned the emergency fund, but something on the car breaks and we need to get it fixed to just be able to not be stressed if that were to ever happen. So
definitely.
Yeah.
So the third question we have is, how do we manage our finances on a monthly basis?
Well, a lot of the work I think has been automated over time.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Robots are very good.
Yeah, by setting up automatic transfers between our accounts out of our main account that we both get paid into, and then twice a month the money just disappears from that account and goes into savings accounts for whether it's travel or big electronic purchase or
emergency funds,
RSPs,
investments.
TFSAs, whatever it might be. So it's automated a lot of the time. Pretty much the only manual aspect of it would be, I guess, paying off the credit cards and that kind of stuff, because we do like to go through it. And Janine especially does do I do a quick scan. Janine does a more maybe thorough scan of what we put on there, and then then that's a manual transaction. It's not done automatically through our banks, but it's mostly automated. We have spreadsheets that we go through, and they get updated, and we just compile all of the data into one kind of place that we can easily access.
That's what happens when you have 2 accountants in a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Next question we have is, do we fight about money? And I don't actually think we've ever fought about money.
No, I don't think it's ever No, I don't think so.
We've always just been very, very open about it, and really been open about what our values and what our goals have been, and I think we're both fairly aligned in those goals.
Yeah, I think it goes a long way when you have shared goals and what you want to achieve with your money, in terms of, how much do we want to save, what's our saving targets, where do we want to be by the time we're retired, and if we have shared ideas as to how to get there, then it makes a lot more sense, and we're not worried about, purchase here or purchase there. It's not like we go through every transaction that we're ever going to do and talk about it. That would be exhausting. But I think we just have the shared values, so I think that, we trust each other, not to go nuts with the credit card and, I don't know, buy someone's old collection of Beanie Babies for $3,000 or something like that.
It can't be worth that much.
No, probably not. It'd be like
$300.
I think
maybe one of the biggest things is we've always looked at it at as our money. And I think that that's really helped when it comes to not fighting about money.
Yeah.
Because if one person's bringing in more money at a certain time in one's life versus a different time, and that's happened to us a number of times in our relationship, especially when I was still a student and you were working full time, but always looking at it as our money and contributing to both people's investments and savings accounts so that no one really feels kind of hard done by, I think is a huge benefit in a relationship. And I think it's probably one of the reasons we really never have thought about money.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, no, I can't even think of a time that we ever disagreed. That's right.
So the last question we have is, how do you split the bills in a marriage? And so there's a couple ways you can do this. I'm going to let Andrew maybe explain how we do it in our marriage, and then I'll maybe touch on a couple other ways that you can do it as well.
Well, it was really easy for us. We combined all of our bank accounts, and prior to getting married, especially I think one of the main things is that maybe part of it was we were procrastinating a little bit, but at the end of the day, when you're paying for all this wedding stuff, I mean, it's just way easier if it's all coming from the same place, because It's not her wedding, it's not my wedding, it is our wedding. So with that sort of mentality that it's our money should pay for our wedding. So it was very easy to kind of, once we got it all together, to then track all the expenses and find out how much we spent on the wedding. And then it's just a better place to have, if you have all the money put into one place, you're not having to try and do math or anything like that when you're trying to pay the bills and, put money into savings. So ours is there's no really splitting of our bills. They just, my cell phone bill gets paid out of, our shared account. Your cell phone bill, same thing. It's just everything, our utilities, our rent, everything comes out of one place. So it's really easy. You have to log into one bank and, for whatever reason, let's say I'm not available to do the transfer for rent. Well, it comes from the same bank account, so she can just do it. Or vice versa, right? So it's really easy and that's kind of what we like. We like our money management to be very low intensity and low commitment, because we would rather spend our time doing other things.
Yeah, and I think with that, obviously, investment accounts can't be shared. So again, coming back to that point from earlier, we do have separate investment accounts, TFSAs and RSPs, and we do make sure that both of our investment accounts are getting contributions added to them on a monthly basis. So in addition to just completely dumping all of your money into one place and splitting the bills out of that account, you can look at paying bills based on a proportion of income. And maybe this was something that we did a little bit earlier on in our relationship, based on if one spouse is making, or one partner is making significantly more than the other. You may decide to split some of the bills based on that percentage of income. So if one person's earning 70% of the income and the other person's only earning 30%, then the bills would be split as such. And maybe you're at the point in your relationship where you're living together, but you aren't necessarily comfortable with combining all of your bank balances yet. This would also be a really great way to share finances and make sure that things are being split evenly. And the last way that you can split bills is obviously by having just separate accounts and either splitting everything 50-50 or determining specific bills that an individual will pay. So maybe one person pays the mortgage, but the other person pays for all of the utilities and property taxes that happen during the year. So those are some options that people have for paying their bills with their significant other, and hopefully they were helpful for you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions about couples finance or questions about, our financial roadmap and what we've been able to accomplish and maybe the struggles that we've had over the years, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And I'll see you next week.